So, yes, it is an important, every lesson is important. We experience, oh, it is my experience, and my experience is right. My experience is clear and the right and the good. And as long as we depend on these experiences, the experiencer in us continues to strengthen and it creates a personality, behavior, attitude. So, whether you say it is a perception, whether you say it is awareness, whether you say it is my experience, or whether you say knowledge, more or less, there are little difference between them, then they are all the same. The entire Eastern wisdom is a shift in perception. When there is a shift in perception, there is a shift in the knowledge and also the experience. That is why, that is why we say that never forget. People think it is a ritual. No, it is not a ritual. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. That is infinite. So this has to be infinite. Infinite proceeds from the infinite. You see that each and every statement declares to change the perception. That is infinite, hence, this is also infinite. But why we say that? Because if I don't perceive, I don't experience that infinity as I am, then I'm limited. And when I'm limited, how come I am limited? That is also my experience. That is also my perception. Oh, you have a lot of money and I don't have it. So that is also a perception. And when this perception continues, it creates a lot of challenges in our daily life. I cannot walk, you can walk. You see the limitation. Come on, first start. That is infinite, so I am also infinite. Because that existence is infinite and it proceeds from the infinite. Taking infinite out of the infinite, same thing. It remains as the infinite alone. That is what I created an acronym for you to think and perceive. Today we are going into a higher, little higher, and it demands only an understanding. On Saturday's session is nothing but understanding means what? Knowledge. Knowledge means what? Perception. You are a wonderful person. Now say, this statement has a knowledge, has a perception, has my experience. That is why I say they were all more or less they are the same thing. As we grow further, we will find out what is the difference between the experience, perception, and the knowledge. The things becomes very clear to us. So why I picked up this topic of perception, knowledge, awareness, and experience, I have to prove that I'm the real self. Knowledge, I have to prove. Proof means what? I experience that I'm the real self. Knowledge. Knowledge, experience, perception. Just see that. Knowledge, experience, perception. Well, they all are. the same. Maintain your awareness as a seeker. It will help you to move further so that your mind triggers, intellect triggers and starts contemplating. Again, I'm repeating, prove that I am the real self. Why? Ignorance to knowledge. How? Remove the ignorance. And if I'm not right, interrupt. Why? Because if I'm not right, because the mind has lot of doubts, anxiety, duality, and a conflict. So that is why we don't have the right perception. Again, I'm using just for this session perception, knowledge, understanding, experience. So now that is whether absence of experience. So I also have an experience. What is that experience? Absence of all the experiences. Then sometime we have a fleeting experiences. What is fleeting experience? Short term. And then there are long term experiences. Fleeting experiences, absence of experiences, and the long term experiences. Presence of all the experiences, I can retrieve the past, memory, good experience, bad experience. And based on that experience, I start crying or I will be happy. Then there is a short-term experiences, fleeting experiences, and then there is an absence of experiences. These three factors is all about our life. Why I say so? It is your experience, it is my experience. Absence of experience is the deep sleep. Fleeting experiences is the dream state. And continuous nature, repeating experiences of the past, pain, problems, suffering, duality, conflict, division, anxiety, fear, frustration, waking state. I'm giving it a different label. So if the pain is permanent, why don't you experience that pain, suffering in the deep sleep? Why it is fleeting in the dream state? So whatever you experience is wrong. Whatever I experience is wrong. We avoid. The problem is that in our daily life, we always try to avoid neglect. Who neglects? Mind. From where these experiences returns? Mind. Do you see that? It is the same mind which gives me an experience. "Oh, I had a lot of problem yesterday. My limb is not moving." And then I'm repeating it where it is happening in the waking state. But you had the same experience in the dream state, and the moment you wake up, it is gone. Fleeting, short term. In deep sleep, there is no such experience. First thing, we have to contemplate and reflect and come to a conclusion that we cannot change these three states. We can modify them: sleep state, dream state, or waking state. We can modify them a bit, not too much. But this comes from the existence and we cannot modify them. We cannot replace them. We cannot transform them. In waking state, we have all the problems and the pleasures and the repeat pleasure, habit, personality, behavior, and attitude. And we can get rid of any habit which I experience in the dream state. The moment you wake up, it is gone. Even when we have the same problem, same suffering, in the dream state, the moment you wake up, it is gone. But in the waking state, there is a continuity of the problem. When you divide the Eastern and the Western approach, so the Western approach is what we said that, oh, just forget this, all the pain, duality, and a problem. Fill yourself with lot of possessions and the pleasure. Take care of the world outside the material world. Organize it, restructure it. And that is why the Western, that include, you can include US, North, South America, West, Europe, they have progressed externally so well. Forget about it. There is no existence. Forget. What is your existence? Is that how can you give more and more comfort to the body and the mind? By possessions, by getting all kinds of pleasure in a waking state. So we avoid it, the one part of it. In dream state, when I return to the waking states, all the problems are fleeting, all the pleasures are fleeting. It is gone. In the sleep state, there is an absence of all those. Is it possible to have the same experience as I have in the sleeping state, or I am capable? Think. I am capable to drop all my experiences in the waking state also. What that state will be. Can you think? Mathematical formula. Sleep state minus unconsciousness. One thing. And the waking state minus body and the mind complex, awakening is there. Or simply say waking state minus all the past experiences. Every day you live from a moment to moment. So in deep sleep, there is no body and the mind. In waking state, there is a body and mind that is causing a lot of challenges based on my knowledge, my perception, my experience, which I call my treasure. Waking state, all the past experiences, minus all the past experiences, sleep state, minus unconsciousness. Then we are, is that a state of awakening? Now see, we are slowly going deeper. So, okay, you said, but there is no I in the sleep state. That's what I'm saying. If that I is absent in the sleep state, that I is different, is a dreamer I in the dream state, and then the I that I experience in the waking state, we have three I's, which is not possible. And that is why it is a false I. False I means, it is an accumulation of all my experiences, good, bad, high, low, pain, problem. Or recently, day before Easter. Yesterday was Black Friday. Black Friday. Before that, we celebrated Thanksgiving. We gained some experiences, and it is not. Let us see very simple way. My experience. When I say it is my experience, there are two elements. I plus experience of an object, of a situation, of an event, etc., etc. Is it possible for the Thanksgiving to push and force you to remain in the state of Thanksgiving? Or it is the I that recognizes today is a Thanksgiving. Why not today? Why day before yesterday only? Ask your I who is listening to me. And when you ask this I, oh, it can happen anytime, anywhere. So it is my choice. Oh, yes. But I do why I don't exercise my choice? Because of my memory and the past impression. They return with a force. I'm happy with you, honey, not with myself. I have a lot of challenges with you, my honey, so I divorce you. I'm doing good because of you. I'm not doing good because of you. Perception, knowledge, experience, understanding. I'm not saying anything. I'm not inviting religion, cult, dogma, belief, nothing. Why you make me crazy? It is also my perception and experience. I love you or hate you is also my experience. We are understanding experience. Every experience without experiencer does not exist. Say I'm right. And that experiencer, I never do not want to discover, I do not want to find out if that experiencer is causing the problem. But I say it's my experience. I had a very bitter experience with you, honey, so hence part. I don't look at the experiencer in me. Next week, we are going to have a very uh, deeper and a higher principle. So I'm laying a foundation for that. So experience without experiencer, not possible. Husband without wife is not possible. Take it in an easy way. Wife without husband is not possible. If you say I am husband, wife has to be there. Now I'm a husband without wife. Then you are crazy. You see, the experience without experiencer, there lies the secret of awakening. What is that? That experience and experiencer both are mind. So that is why we say meditation is a state of no mind state or mindfulness or transcending the body and the mind. No, no. We transcend the mind in deep sleep also. Yes, yes, we transcend the mind in deep sleep also, but you are unconscious. So, no mind state, I have to experience minus, minus, no mind state. That is why meditation is also known as no mind. But in that no mind state, That duality is not there. Experiencer and the experiences. I am constantly aware of that, and I can easily drop it by understanding. When I drop it, I enter into the highest state of meditation, and I recognize that I am of the absolute reality, consciousness, and bliss. We have all the animals have the animal mind, so they continuously live in a moment. They need not to worry about it. They need not have that thinking ability. Tree does not have a trouble. Why I am so tall? Why I am so small? We have a problem. From where it comes? From perception, from experience, from awareness. I don't check. I don't contemplate. I don't reflect. If the experiences turn into a thought or a feeling or an emotion, really exist or do not exist. One thing is clear, they do not exist in the deep sleep state. I can brush aside as a fleeting experience once I wake up from the dream state, why I can't do in the waking state. Did I make it clear? You need not to worry. My honey did this, or my parents did this, or next door neighbor did this. Forget about that. Take care of this crazy stuff first inside. Do you see that? Yes. So we have to understand. So that is why, because so you see that experiencer plus experience plus objects plus a situation plus a time plus an event plus possessions and non possessions, all those go together, creates an impurity in the mind. And as long as the mind is impure, we cannot take the next step. I cannot change my perception. So the master plays a trick with us and it says, Guru is there. So those who are live at the physical awareness level, the master says, no, see, I'm the Guru, follow me, have reverence for me. So as we grow further, we move into the higher level of awareness. We say Guru is just the knowledge, your perception, your experience. You learn from your experiences. Both are true. But why the physical guru is little bit important because it passes on the knowledge the way that guru has understood from the Eastern wisdom. If you say, okay, guru is just the knowledge, then you will be misguided by your own experiences. So the master says, no, the reference point is different. You have to change your perception. So that is why. So you honor the guru in order to keep aside your impurities of the mind. You have to check every time you honor or respect the teacher or the knowledge that you are keeping aside. How to keep aside? That is what we have been doing until now. We are applying the discernment and dispassion in our journey. Why discernment? We separate the false from the I, from the real, separate. The best example given in our Eastern wisdom is a rope and the snake. Dusk, ignorance. I'm not very clear what it is. It's the rope or the snake. If I'm clear, there is no doubt. If I'm clear, I'm infinite. There is no doubt. If I'm clear, I'm the real self, not only in the deep states, dream state and the waking state, there is no problem. Ignorance is gone. But there is a problem because of the ignorance, and ignorance because of the impurity, impurity because of the delusion, attachment, and the long list goes away. So, purification of the mind. How? By understanding. By understanding. So, this is how the master came up with an understanding. Oh, let me start, understand the waking state, understand the dream state, understand the sleep state, compare all of them, and then recognize that there is something definitely behind the mind and the body, behind all the crazy experiences that is not changing, that is unchanging. And that is the consciousness which is not changing. That is only one. And that consciousness is different and separate from all the objects, including my experience. I had a bad experience. How do you know that? I'm aware of it. So awareness comes from the consciousness. Now I have a pleasant experience. How do you know that? Because you are conscious. You are conscious of the bad experience because you are consciousness. You are aware of the deep sleep. You become aware of the deep sleep in a waking state because you are consciousness. Because you can get rid of the fleeting experiences in the dream state because you are consciousness. So, same thing in the in the waking state. Then this master goes a little further. It says that this consciousness is also of the nature of permanent happiness. Why? I love myself. When I love myself, I'm happy. Not only that, not only that, I love you because I love myself. I love my honey because I love myself. Why? I want to be happy all the time. That is why you see, I married to be happy, I divorced to be happy. See that? That is why I eat pasta to be happy, I leave the other food. The pasta doesn't love me. Same thing applies to the body, to the mind. So object that permanent happiness depends on the object of love, and that object of love is me, myself, neither the body nor the mind nor any experiences. Now, coming to the same experiences is knowledge, it's perception, it is awareness. So I had a good experience. So, honey, you are so wonderful. Why? Because I'm receiving. I feel I'm comfortable and I'm happy with him or her. I'm happy and with pasta, or I'm happy with this car and house. But we never try to inquire that I'm happy with the house because of me only, and that me is beyond the false I and all my experiences. Why the master is saying this? At least we should move inside and start working on the journey of this self discovery. How to start? First, to have an intellectual understanding. So, once you understand the principle, apply, reflect on it. So, when you reflect, you experience, I'm very happy. Honey offered me a cup of coffee because I like coffee, and she offered or he offered. So, that makes me happy. Now that makes me happy. So who is responsible, honey or coffee? Okay, then coffee, then which type of the coffee? Because I don't have a luxury to have many honeys. You see, that is how the mind in ignorance, in the impurity, in the delusion starts working. We can get rid of the fleeting experiences in the dream. We don't give a break when the mind starts working like this. I'm not aware. I claim that I'm aware. That is my experiential inquiry. First is the intellectual inquiry. And if I give it a different word to make you understand, it is an experiential inquiry. Plus, yes, plus we continue to the practice. But what is most important, because we have never exposed to this knowledge, hence we have to take a support of the knowledge coming from the Eastern wisdom. How do you know that the sum of all the angles of a triangle is 180-degree? Support from the mathematics. How do you know that water consists of two atoms of hydrogen and oxygen? Our goal is to have that knowledge, that clarity, that understanding, that perception, that experience. What is that experience where it is heading to awakening? What is that awakening? That I am the real self. I am the real self. So the same way, if I have any problem, I open the mathematics books to find out how it is possible, how the mathematician has proved the sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So I have to go to these texts. So let us prove it. First, let me remove my doubt. So the entire journey in this text is to remove the doubts, which which prevents your which prevents your mind to realize that I'm of the nature of the real self. But the moment you start the journey, you start feeling calmness. We did not talk of the calmness or relaxation or higher level of awareness or mind is naturally focused, but the result comes there. Result is there. Result is there. Result is there only for the seeker. For non-seeker, it doesn't make any difference. So once we have a continuous and a consistent awareness that at least there is a happiness within me, I know a little bit. I know with reference to a desire. I know with reference to a person or a situation or an event just past. If you have purchased something very good yesterday, I'm talking about with reference to US on a Black Friday, your mind says, "Oh, I saved a lot of money." Reference point is me. Say, for example, you bought a laptop. Reference point is not the laptop, but the mind says the reference point is the laptop and the money that I saved. What is that? Perception experience. What is this? My awareness. Oh, yes, you're right. So if I don't know happiness means what, I'm not conscious of it, but I'm consciousness. So I know there is happiness. So I have to know the permanent state of the happiness. That is where a couple of the sessions we are trying to understand. I have to remember. I have to learn. I have to relearn from my experiences. Honey offers something. Honey says, "I love you." Maintain your awareness and see, is the love coming really from the honey, or it is expressing itself from here. Now the couple is attending the session, but I'm saying those who are not with the couple, they have to do by themselves. They have not to tell. They have to maintain. And if the couple is attending, they have to discuss by themselves. So that is where I gave you an example of 50 students. One student, it is mixed up. It is mixed up. I like pasta, it gives me happiness. It is mixed up. Happiness is within, pasta is outside. Or if there is some parameter to measure happiness, you will be surprised. 1 gram or 1 ounce, you can say. 1 gram is smaller than 1 ounce. So 1 gram of happiness receiving from the external world, you have to follow minimum 15 and 20 steps. If you contemplate and reflect all the time, just for a couple of days, then your mind is pure. It is receptive. I gave you one example of that. Well, I gave you before that also. So my mind, now you see my experience. My experience, a restaurant A cooks the pasta very good, and I have to go and eat to be happy. From where it has come? From the past experience, memory. What is memory? It is knowledge. Clear? Knowledge. Okay. So we will go there. What I have to do? Car. Fuel is there in the car. I have the money to pay. The waiter should be receptive and waiter should be listening to me. The time should be good. When I reach the restaurant, it is full. Go on explaining how many factors you need to get 1 gram of happiness. You create a good mood and you say, honey, I love you. Honey says, I don't. You are securing happiness. Honey, maybe anything. So these are the blockages because it contains 20, sometimes 25 factors to secure and experience 1 gram of happiness. Then 1 gram of the happiness is expanded by my ignorance. That is the meaning. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is suffering. Eastern wisdom says ignorance is suffering. We say ignorance is bliss. So you see many, many, even if one single factor is not met, you have a blockage. Fuel is not there in the car. Oh, then you invite the Uber, and Uber is late. You reach to the restaurant is full. Please wait for 20 minutes. I went there with the honey yesterday, Black Friday. You do everything, but you live in that awareness. So in one store, they said, our system is not working. Leave your name in the phone number. So my honey said, we are not going to buy it. Who will come back again? So how long your system is not working? Oh, for the last 3 hours. So if it is not working for the last 3 hours, you see one factor, one single factor. So we have understood more or less ignorance is the cause and ignorance is the cause. And I gave you many ways to understand. Ignorance is incomplete knowledge. Incomplete knowledge of the rope in dusk, whether neither two, there is not too much of light, there is not too much of darkness, but I still see there is something, and I conclude it is a snake. Fact is, it is a rope. Incomplete knowledge. Question is, from where this snake has come in a rope? Do you see? It is all the accumulation of my perception, my experiences during the lifetime since our birth until now. How to explain that? Yes, we are going to explain that. Why we have to explain? We have to understand that that superimposition, superimposition of a snake over the rope. Don't take it badly. Superimposition of a husband on a man, superimposition of a wife on a man. We are just talking about the same principles. So, first I have to recognize what is superimposition, and then I have to find out how to desuperimpose. Whatever is left is our real self. Did you understand that? So, the master explains in another 10 to 12 verses superimposition, desuperimposition. Superimposition, desuperimposition. Now think of it. Sleep state, superimposition, waking state, before your past impression returns and gives the interpretation of the sleep state, you are awakened, but it is lost. Superimpose, desuperimposition. Dreamer, dream experiences, it is all superimposition. We have to learn how to desuperimpose. I think I'm making the things in a very simple language. These two words are very important in this journey of understanding. Superimposition, desuperimposition. So why I should understand what is superimposed? Because mind is says it is my experience. I had a wonderful experience of the deep sleep. Come on, it is superimposed. It is not real. You are not a sleeper. Are you understanding? You are not a dreamer. You are not a waker. They all are superimposed. And when we understand how to desuperimpose, so that's why we have a snake and rope example, wave in the water example, the golden ring, nose pin, necklace versus the gold example. Can you tell me that if your necklace, earring, and other stuff made up of the gold jewelries are melt, does the gold increase in size or the increase in the weight? No, it remains the same. Oh, so it remains the same. It is melted. It means, oh, does it mean that the necklace is hidden in the gold? No. Snake is not hidden in the rope. No. Desuperimposition. You are doing a desuperimposition. Do you see that? You're doing a desuperimposition. Name in the form, Steve, superimposed. Superimposed on what? Real self. Girish, superimposed. Name in the form, superimposed. Then is super. What is left? I want to know what is left. It's a very important principle. We are going to work superimposition. There is only one reality, one real self. What is that? Absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. Majority, I would say every Indian knows the Sanskrit word Satchidanand, but they take it, they don't see the imposition and superimposition and desuperimposition. 1 or 2 minutes more. Have you seen the picture of atom and then the atom and then the electrons moving around it and the neutron, and neutron is at the center, and then you have a proton. Proton is also at the center. What do you mean by it? It's a model. Don't start thinking that atom is like this. It is not that way. It's a model to make we understand why I said so. This superimposition, desuperimposition is also a model to explain how to get rid of the ignorance. Once you reach to there, throw all the concepts and the models, including this teacher. Why? Because you have reached to that state. Master, many texts says that. What you're talking about? Guru, no more guru. Guru is just a knowledge. Can any physicist dare to say, throw all the books of physics into the garbage, you have reached there? It cannot be reversed. Our masters said this. Because if they don't say it, then it means I'm not independent. I don't get the total freedom. I'm still relying on these principles and the models. Can any branch of the modern science say, yes, throw this? Answer is big no. That is the beauty. Close your eyes. Just eyes are closed. Did you superimpose something? You have to be aware. What is that awareness? Awareness, perception, knowledge, understanding. I gave you simple way to trick the impure mind. Oh, I have to trick the impure mind. Why? That is what you recognize as superimposition. Okay. If you say that, then I will trick my own mind. Don't trick others' mind. That will be a problem. Eyes closed. What I have to do with the eye? Okay, I'm aware. Aware means that I know my eyes are closed. Perception, yes, I experience that. But I'm finding the real self, and the real self is within. You already told me. You that is you have to reflect in this so-called practice of meditation. What you have to. But you told me. I remember that the real self is within and one, and it cannot be perceived by the senses in the mind. Are you crazy or saying that you close your eyes? You see, we have to understand these models, how they have to be used. If I do it habitually, okay, let me close my eyes. So you have a lot of those impressions start working in your mind, and then you fall into sleep and you say, I had a good meditation. You're lost. But why? Because all the sense organs and the mind processes all the information from the world outside of objects, of people, of relationship that has created the thought pattern in the mind. So to give a start, I closed my eyes. It will make a sense. And to make one understand this, sometimes it takes years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, and people say, I'm not able to control my mind. But the fact is that I should be aware that everything is coming from outside. I'm finding the real self. And if they are coming, let it come and go. I'm not worried about it. Even if you think like this, you will find that the mind reaches to a state of the calmness. The world, the entire outer world is superimposed on me. I'm saying loosely. No, I'm independent. Oh, you are independent? Really? Hmm. You're a husband or a wife. You're a businessman. You're a man and women. Yes. I live in a particular country. Yes. What is all this? Are they not superimpositions? Then what? So you see, they all are superimpositions. Our mind, based on our experiences in a particular country with a particular behavior and the culture and the society, have created all this notion. Oh, yes, it seems. You may be true. Don't believe. Oh, then about the body. Where is the body? You see, where is the body? You point out, you are pointing to your nose. So it is a nose, it's not the body. Do you see the body is superimposed? That idea of the body. You are just conscious of it. Same thing, idea of a life is breath and the breath is life. Look at the breath so called, if the life is the breath, or the breath is the life. Okay. No, no, but you don't understand that when I hold the breath, I cannot hold the breath for more than 30 seconds. If I hold it, I will die. Oh, both are superimposition. We have to apply a couple of models to reach to that state. Today is just an introduction to another deeper area of this journey of the Eastern wisdom. But why we have to do all this, To understand matter is energy, it took more than 3,000 scientists until Einstein came and he said that, what he said? E is equal to mc square, I recall. Oh, superimposition. Okay, let me say yes to you now with lot of doubts. Okay, then comes to the mind. Mind is a reflected mind. It's a reflected consciousness. All my experiences means perception, means knowledge, means experiences, means personality, means behavior, means attitude, means negative and positive impressions, means difficult and good conditions, which is totally absent in the deep sleep. Which one is you? So if your mind says, do you mean to say they all are superimpositions? We will find out. But fact is that they all are superimpositions. Oh my God. So This is what I say the false I? Yes. One definition. Now you understand. One definition of this false I. It is so subtle. We need to discover that, my friends. And I raised that question that how do you see the snake in a rope? You never thought of it. That snake of the false eye has taken over. Whatever thought is coming to your mind at this moment has to do something with the superimposition. Are you aware and alert? Yes, I'm aware and alert, but I did not understand you. That is your perception coming from the same mind. Even when you say, I understand, that is also coming from the same superimposition. Why? Consciousness does not think. It simply, it is existence. Why don't you recognize it? The space doesn't say, I have spared this much of length in the width to your home, and that's why you are existing. It has nothing to do with it. It will continue to remain the same. Oh, that is what you are talking of. Uh, the Satchidanand, the absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. The answer is yes. Oh, so I'm constantly aware of every thought which is nothing but my experience, and I learn from my experiences. My experiences divides me into the experience and the experiencer. There are millions of experiences that created a garbage in the mind. So that if the superimposition is not there, what is left? I need not to discover the real self. It's a wrong phrase. We have to remove the superimposition of a snake on the rope. The rope is visible. I have to remove the superimposition of earring, necklace, nosepin, golden nosepin necklace over the gold. So what is left? I know it. I'm aware. I need not to say. I am into that state. Now I fully know. But yes, in the beginning, we have to say self discovery, real self, etc., etc., etc. Can you sit into that contemplation and reflection, maybe for an hour this week, every time you see? I've already explained, you gave you a brief of superimposition and desuperimposition. What happens by the desuperimposition? You switch on the light, the dusk is gone, snake is also gone. When we live into that awareness, all superimpositions, they disappear like the snake. What cannot disappear is the Satchidanand, is the absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. Is that enough? No, there are a couple of more models. We have to, then only this, we can reach to that state of realization. If you are doing something, that is also superimposition. My goodness. And sometimes the mind says, are you making me crazy? Yes, not for the seeker. Seeker instantly understands. And when the seeker understands, the journey continues, and you won't feel as if you are sitting for hours together. What is it indirectly? That is what we have understood couple of sessions before on Mondays and Thursdays. I explained you what is, you remembered, what is self-absorption? What is choiceless awareness? You switch on the light, the dusk is gone. Only the rope is there. Only, only choiceless awareness. It only demands clarity. Any thought will be a superimposition. Thought is nothing but your knowledge, your perception, your experience, and long list. We also use different words. Mm, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And something within you says, I'm already peace, peace. Don't say it. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And the mind, that pure mind says, even if you say it doesn't matter. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And the mind is non verbally aware, whether you say it or you don't say it. I'm already there. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences and bring the hands down. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you for the session. Two things I picked up from today's lesson is that the the right reference point is the experiencer, and everything in the world is relative to the experiencer, and nothing in the world exists if the experiencer is not there. And
Beautiful.
the second thing is that this concept of superimposition, uh, so that everything that is known to the mind is superimposition on the one and only reality, which we call the real self. And the concept of superimposition is also a superimposition.
Yes,
So when all concepts are dissolved and disappear, then the that reality that is no more superimposed by anything reveals.
that is
And
the state of awakening. But no teacher is going to teach us, oh, you start with imposition, superimposition, and desuperimposition. It's a little challenging concept and a model. So we say the impurity of the mind. And what is that impurity of the mind? Are you agitated? Yes, that is the impurity of the mind. So we start at the very basic. That is also a model. A person or a real teacher in the Eastern wisdom, they know it, that nothing of no, anything that is expressed, it is just, but it does not mean that we don't respect and honor. So gradual learning and progressive learning makes it possible to reach that. Very good. Beautifully, you summarized it. How are you, Stephen?
Good, sir. Thank you very much. So, and these lessons are they just continue to evoke contemplation and reflection on higher levels.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that. A lot went on. A lot of during that lesson, trying to break down and look at our experiences, looking at our interpretations of those experiences, realizing that more times than any of those, the experiences are actually other people's experiences that
Yes.
we're in one way, shape, or form trying to embrace within ourselves and utilizing the principles of the Eastern wisdom with a heightened awareness and that contemplation and reflection. It's easy to go back to the old lessons of learning how to negate that in order to
Yeah.
bring it back. And one of the things that you just said that resonated with me is that why are we thankful on a single day? And the answer to that is because society creates limits. And if it's limited, we can't we if we take on that experience, we can't know the real self because the real self is limitless. Same way as consciousness, the same way as existence. So that whole concept just started to make me think to now have, as David once said, we have all these tools in our tool chest is another tool to be able to negate all that stuff out there because we are in a different state in the waking in the sleep state, in the dream state, and it's the waking state that causes all this problem, as I pointed out, is just trying to get control of that mind. And it's important. The way to do that is to be able to apply these principles on a almost minute by minute basis,
Yes.
um, and get to where it needs to be. So thank you.
Beautiful. My happiness has no limit when I see the reflection by you all. Dennis has one way of reflecting, and you have other way of reflecting. That is how these model works. So the teacher in the Eastern wisdom, they use the different models to trigger, to inspire you to contemplate and reflect that all my experience is my perception, is my knowledge, is my understanding in the presence of a consciousness. If it is absence, which I experience, even though it is not in deep sleep, fleeting experiences in the dreamer state, but the waking continues. Why? Why you are continuing my mind? Because I feel that I'm limited. In order to become unlimited, I have millions of the thoughts which seeks that unlimitedness. It cannot be possible. So then we have a model of superimposition and desuperimposition. Beautifully said. How are you, Samir? Then we'll go here.
Sir, I think as we keep on applying principles on day-to-day basis, we become experiencer more and more. And when there is some means some wrong thing in our mind, then we become experience. Means
Yeah,
if we
yeah,
keep on applying principles what of Eastern wisdom, then we will more and more in waking state we become more time we are experiencer, and as peace will keep on dropping in us more and more. Means I think so, because
yeah,
whenever
yeah,
I am in some type of problem or some, then I apply the principle of Eastern wisdom, and then I become experiencer, and then I am in peace. And when I become
beautiful.
experience, then I am into problem, and then I am with the mind, and then I flow away. So I have to become experiencer to apply principle to become
Yeah,
experiencer.
yes,
This
yes,
is my experience of daily. This is my what I experience in my whole day.
yes, yes. You see, there is a subtle, I'll make you aware of the subtle. In the beginning, we said experiencer, and all the experiences both originate from the mind. They are basically the mind. You have an I thought plus not I thought, which includes the entire universe. But when you are saying that I become an experiencer, you have left all the experiences of the mind, including the claim by the mind, this is my I-ness. So this real I and the false I are always mixed up. They are always mixed up. To recognize this is the real I and this is the false I is the entire journey. So again, I will tell you that we have another model for this. And this is what this master is going to explain. So if you pick up the experiences of all the three, you will find a common factor. And once you find that common factor, your mind, you will be amazed that your mind has no thought. Hardly you have 5 or 6 thoughts throughout the day and you are doing all your activities. That's my personal experience. How are you, David and Jerry?
Sir, the lesson today was filled with so much um, knowledge and so many tools that it is, but when you really like parse it all down, it is very simple what we're trying to accomplish. And we're looking at it from all these different ways. And I love the mind is not verbally aware. That was a concept that stuck to me during the lesson today, that when the mind is not verbally aware, we're at peace. And
Yes.
so there's lots to contemplate there. So thank you. The meditation was very deep, actually very deep.
Yes. There's a lot to contemplate and reflect, and not escaping your work in your personal, professional, social, and you are just into this entire world. Daily activities is a laboratory where you are doing a research and to find out this stuff. That is this master is teaching. Other masters are teaching you go to the Himalayas, sit there, stand in 1 feet. Yeah, that has a primary purpose. It is also true. Beautifully said. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. The experiencer stood out for me as well. Just being aware of the experiencer first, and then all that's experienced are the tools. So there are opportunities that allow us to keep being aware of the experiencer first, and then
Yes.
we have the opportunities to have a higher awareness.
You see, such a simple, you said such a simple, but it has a very deeper meaning in the Eastern wisdom. Say simple. I know you. So there is an experiencer here. That experiencer say it I, and we have, and there is an experience. What is that experience? That is, you can say it is a perception, or it is a knowledge, or it is an understanding. Clear? But behind this experiencer and the experience, I am also aware of that. Or there is a pure, so called the pure awareness, or you can say there is a real I. It does not need to explain everything in the verbal. That is what Stephen was saying. It's a non-verbal, David was saying. So there is a non-verbal entity is present who knows I know you, who knows I made a statement, who knows I experienced that I'm giving a lesson. That witness, that consciousness is known as the witness consciousness. So masters have to do some tweaking. That is also an experiencer, but we don't say the way the mind claims it is an experience. It's a non-verbal. It's a non-verbal awareness. It's a purely a witness consciousness. So the Buddha says this is the state of the mindfulness, for which we need not to do any practice at all. We have to contemplate and reflect. All of you start living your life with that state, and that is done. My job is done. That is all for today. Thank you very much. We'll meet again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.